Good morning, students. Welcome back to the biology class. We are discussing about the diversity of the living organisms. We already discussed about the plant kingdom and other three kingdoms, and we are actually discussing about the animal kingdom. In this category, we are discussing about the non-chordates. That means the animals which do not have the backbone. The animals which do not have the backbone. Such type of animals are called as non-chordates, otherwise invertebrates. And about that invertebrates we are discussing actually, and already I have explained you about the two phyla, that is phylum Porifera as well as phylum Coelenterata. And today we are going to discuss about the three more phyla, about the three more phyla in the category of invertebrates. Okay, let me write first. Platyhelminthes, Aschelminthes, and Annelida. These three we are going to discuss today. Phylum Platyhelminthes, phylum Aschelminthes, and the phylum Annelida. These three we are going to discuss it. And the first one is the phylum Platyhelminthes. Okay, phylum Platyhelminthes, and these animals are also called as flatworms because their body structure. These are also called as flatworms because their body structure is like a flat. That means it is like a ribbon-like structure. I think you might be seen the measuring tape. Might be seen that measuring tape in the tailoring shop. Same structure will be presented for these organisms. That's why they are called as flatworms. Okay. And examples for these flatworms is Planaria, tapeworm, etc. These are the major examples for flatworms. That's why they are called as platyhelminths. Helminth means worm. These are like a flat, that means ribbon-like structures. That's why these are called as flatworms. And these are diploblastic animals. That means they have the two germinal layers in their body structure. And acoelomatic means they don't have the body cavity. Acoelomatic means it's a condition of the body which do not have the cavity in between the layers. What are the layers here? Only two layers are presented, outer ectoderm, inner endoderm. In between these two layers, they are not having any kind of empty space. That means body cavity is not presented there. That's why these are acoelomatic. So suppose this is the ectoderm and this is the endoderm. So there won't be any gap between these two layers. These are two are attached to each other. Okay. So that's why these are acoelomatic and diploblastic animals. Okay. And these are bilaterally symmetrical. What is the meaning of this bilaterally symmetrical? If you take an organism, if you draw one vertical straight line, it forms the two mirror images. Mirror images means same two equal halves will be formed. That's why that is called as bilaterally symmetrical animals. See, the platyhelminthes are flatworms, ribbon-like structures, and they are diploblastic animals having the two layers, two germinal layers in their body, outer ectoderm, inner endoderm, and between these two layers no space, body cavity will be presented there, no body cavity will be presented there. So these are acylomatic, and these are bilaterally symmetrical, and most of them are present, most of them are live as a parasites, means taking shelter. Here one more word is came, that is parasite. It's an organism. Parasite means it's an organism, say that is a microorganism like bacteria, virus, fungi, and such type of worms like flatworms, roundworms. These are the worm-like structures. That means these are the small kind of animals which take shelter in the higher grade animal's body. Which take shelter in the body of the higher grade animals. And they take the shelter and food from the higher grade animals, and they finally kill that host body, that organism where they are taking the shelter and food. That is the characteristic of a parasite. And the organism, the animal which give the shelter to this parasite, that is called as a host. So host and parasite relation will be there in this category. That means these all the organisms are live parasitic life. They will be depending on others. They take the shelter in the inside the body of the organism, higher grade animal, and take the shelter as well as the food from that organisms. And here one more point I want to tell you, that the parasites are of two types. The parasites are of two types, that is ectoparasite, endoparasite. Ectoparasite means the parasite which is presented outside the body, otherwise on the body. That is called as ectoparasite. Usually the leech is the best example for ectoparasite. Leech also one example for this category. Leech. Okay, leech is the ectoparasite, and endoparasite means the parasite which take the shelter inside the other animal, inside the body of the other animal. That is called as the endoparasite. Tapeworm and planaria are the endoparasites. They take the shelter of the other body of the other organism inside the body, completely inside the body. They are presented inside the stomach or the small intestine, and they take the food from the other organism, and finally they cause the illness, or sometimes they may kill the other organism, that is the host. So ectoparasite as well as the endoparasites, and this is the place where they present. And there are two types of parasites once again. They are some parasites will take the food, some parasites will suck the blood. Leech will suck the blood. So the parasites which are sucking the blood are the animals which are sucking the blood, like parasites like this leech, mosquitoes. These all comes under the category of sanguivorous animals. We will discuss later about the sanguivorous animals. Okay, let it be that. Now, based on the life they present, means how much time they present in the body of the host, the parasites are of two types. Temporary parasites, and the permanent parasites. So the parasites which live for shorter period, which take the shelter on the body of the animals for shorter period, they are called temporary parasites, like leech. After sucking the blood from the organism, it will leave that place. Again, when it wants the blood, again it will suck. Okay, and whereas the permanent, the planaria as well as the tapeworm are the permanent parasites. They are directly present in the body of the, inside the body of the organism, and they permanently take the shelter in that organism, and also they take the food from that organism. So they are permanently present in that. In this way, there are different types of parasites: ectoparasite, endoparasite, temporary parasite, as well as the permanent parasites. So these organisms are parasitic life they will be leading. A reproduction is always sexual reproduction, and external fertilization will be taking place. Flame cells, what are they? Flame cells are the excretory organs for these flatworms. Flame cells are the excretory organs for this parasite, these flatworms. Okay, let me draw one picture, that is a tapeworm. When you take the tapeworm like this is the tapeworm. It is presented in the small intestine of the human body. Human intestine, small intestine. And if you take the walls of this small intestine, these tapeworms will be holding the walls of the small intestine and flying inside the small intestine. And they will be holding the walls of the small intestine with the help of the cilia-like projections are there here. These are called as hooks, and these also having a kind of what we say that as observing the food material. Those are called as suckers. Suckers are presented with this help of the suckers. They will be absorbing the food material from the small intestine, the digested food material, and they have the long tail-like projection, which can be useful for swim in the body of the human beings from one place to another place. And you might be seeing that some horizontal lines I have put here. These are all not lines; these are all called as segments. And these segments are externally appearing segmented structure, but internally there is no separation of this body structure. They have the complete hollow tube-like structure right from the mouth. This is the mouth. Right from the mouth to anus. Right from the mouth to anus, they have the complete hollow tube-like structure. That is simply say alimentary canal, gut. Okay, and these will take the food from the mouth, put into the food through the mouth, and after the digestion, waste material will be eliminated from this anus. And they have the excretory cells called as flame cells. These will collect all the waste material from the body, and they will be excrete outside. Excrete means remove from the body. This is about the flame cells. Sorry, that platyhelminthes. This is the example for tapeworm. Okay, scientific name, biological name for the tapeworm is Taenia solium. Taenia solium is the biological term for the tapeworms. Okay, and let us move to learning about the Ascahelminthes. helminthes are also called as nematohelminthes, nematoda. These are all roundworms. Examples for this: Ascaris lumbricoids, Ascaris lumbricoids, and Wuchereria malayi. Ascaris lumbricoids and Wuchereria malayi and also Wuchereria bancrofti. These are also examples for this category, Ascahelminthes. These are all roundworms because their structure is round cylindrical shape. So this is the roundworm, Ascaris lumbricoid. There will be here, you see the one dot-like structure is appearing. This is because of this one. This is a female organism. This symbol is indicating that female. And you can see here that two V-shaped structures are there, hair-like projections. This is a male organism. This symbol is indicating that male. So one very extraordinary thing is male organisms of this phylum are smaller than the female organisms in size. Male organisms are smaller than the female organisms in this phylum in the size, in case of size. Okay, understand? And male, if you take the roundworms, they have the complete digestive system, right from the mouth to anus. Complete digestive system is presented in this organisms, and the excretion will be taking place. Excretion will be taking place by a kind of specialized cells called as gland canal cells. The excretory system is taken by gland canal cells. Okay, that is the excretory system. Excretory cells, these are all. They collect all the waste material and send out the body. Okay, and reproduction is completely sexual reproduction. Internal fertilization will be taking place here because all the these animals are separate. Sexes are separate. They will show the sexual dimorphism. All of them are unisexual. Males are separate as well as the females are separate completely. So internal fertilization will be taking place, sexual reproduction will be taking place here. Okay, and these are also parasites, and these affect the number of diseases. Usually these Ascahelminthes organisms will be grown in a sweet duff, means a sweet liquids. Wherever the sweet liquid will be there, no, there these Ascahelminthes will be formed. You might be seen small kind of worm-like structures will become when we excrete. Our stomach is completely spoiled at that time. If you eat the more chocolates, more ice creams, or more sweets, you will get some kind of illness in the stomach pain or something like that. So that is because of the growing of these type of Ascahelminthes organisms. And Wuchereria malayi, it's also Ascahelminthes, and it causes the the disease called as filaria. Filaria means the legs of the organisms. That means especially the human beings' legs, the locomotory organ, legs as well as the hands will be bulged, like looking like elephant legs, That is called as filariasis, or we can say that elephantiasis. This is because of the Wuchereria malayi or Wuchereria bancrofti, and this is taking the shelter in the body of the female Culex mosquito. In the beginning, when such a mosquito is biting us through the proboscis, this Wuchereria malayi, otherwise the bancrofti, will be enter into our body and take shelter in the red blood cells and create a disease called as filariasis or elephantiasis. The leg will be like a elephant leg. It will be swollen like a elephant leg. It's a very dangerous disease. The people unable to walk sometimes. So that is about the Aschelminthes. And come to the next one is Annelida. One more point I forgot to tell you that these are bilaterally symmetrical. Though they are round in shape also, these are bilaterally symmetrical. Two equal halves will be formed there. And triploblastic animals with coelom will be presented there. That means body cavity will be presented there. In that body cavity, a space will be presented, nothing will be filled in that. Coelomatic organisms, they have the body cavity between the germ layers. Outer ectoderm, middle mesoderm and inner endoderm. 3 layers will be presented, so that these are triploblastic animals. Okay, and when these organisms, the Aschelminthes organisms, are present outside any host body, outside the host, these will respire anaerobic respiration, means respiration without oxygen. When they are entering into any host body, they will be living like a parasite. Of course, these also lives a parasitic life. Okay, when they are living the parasitic life, they respire aerobically, means respiration with oxygen. That is very important. And come to the next one is Annelida. Phylum Annelida. Example is earthworms. Newts, etc. Earthworms. Let us learn about these earthworms, because we come across mostly earthworms. These are all completely round in structure, cylindrical in shape. Big size when compared to these Aschelminthes worms. These are big in size, and body is completely segmented from outside, not from inside. Segmented like this, and you might be find here shaded place. Large segment is presented here. This is called as clitellum, where the reproduction takes place. Sexual reproduction, fertilization takes place in this clitellum. Okay, this is the mouth, and this is the anus. Right from the mouth to anus, after the third segment onwards, there will be locomotory organs are presented on the both sides of the segments. Both the sides of the segments, locomotory organs are presented like this. These locomotory organs are called as parapodia. From the third segment of 1, 2, 3, fourth segment onwards, they have the leg-like projections. The locomotory organs are presented on the either side of the body. With the help of these only, they will be moving from one place to another place. They are dragging their body. And these leg-like projections are called as parapodia. That means the locomotory organ for earthworm is parapodia. Okay. And clitellum is for fertilization. Internal fertilization will be taking place. External fertilization will be taking place. But these organisms are hermaphrodites. That means both the male sexual organs as well as the female sexual organs are presented in one organism only. Such type of organisms are called as hermaphrodites, and these annelida organisms are hermaphrodites. But in these organisms, these sexes are presented in one organism only, but any one sexual part will be developed, matured, other will be immature. So that's why the male and female are separate. But when the sexual reproduction takes place, the male and female body will become in such a way. This is the female body, this is the male body. Come in such a way, at the place of clitellum they will be attached. At the place of, suppose this is male, this is female. So the clitellum is presented here for both. Both the clitellums are touch each other, and there will be one opening will be presented there. So the sperm will be enter into the clitellum of the male, and ova will be enter into the clitellum of the female. So when the sperm is entered, then it will be enter into the female body. Okay. So internal fertilization will be taking place here, not external fertilization in the female body. After the fertilization, this clitellum from the female body will be come out and form like a box-like structure, and in this box-like structure, that total development of the young ones will be taking place. Once the young ones are completely developed, that clitellum will be broken down, and all the young ones will be come out. This is the sexual reproduction in the earthworms. And hemoglobin is presented in these organisms, but it is present in the plasma of their body, their blood, not in the red blood cells. Usually other higher grade animals, if you take human beings or any other higher grade animals, this hemoglobin is presented in the red blood cells. But in these organisms, the hemoglobin is present in the plasma of the blood. Okay, understand? And excretion is taken place by cells called as nephridia. Nephridia are the excretory organs of the earthworms. Nephridia. Okay, and these nephridia are presented in the segments, and these are outside. These will be connected to the outside body, and those will be opened by the small holes. So what are the excretory material is collected by the nephridia is sent out through these nephridiophore in this way. Suppose this is the segment. So this is the nephridia. It is opened outside lines, and it has a cilia-like structure which collect the waste material. And this waste material will be traveling along with this one and come out as a waste product. And the waste material which is coming out from this earthworm is useful for organic material, because it it is a rich source of the nitrogenous wastes. Okay, so that's why these earthworms are very, very important. And also they said to be as friends of farmers. Earthworms are friends of the farmers because they make the soil loose by burrowing that. Because of the loose soil, air will be penetrated very easily, equally, evenly into the soil, and water will be penetrated into the soil evenly. And the waste material which is released by these organisms, excreted by these organisms, will be act as a manure. So that's why in this way the earthworms are very much useful for the farmers. So they are called as friends of the farmers. Okay, friends of the farmers. That is about the Annelida. And we discussed about the, in case of invertebrates, we discussed about the phylum Porifera, phylum Coelenterata, phylum Platyhelminthes, phylum Aschelminthes, phylum Annelida. Another 3 phyla are there, that is the Arthropoda, Mollusca and Echinodermata, that we will discuss in the next video. Okay, thank you very much.